I hope this is recording. Let's be honest. I don't even know. I have been sitting here for the past. Well, hold on. Let me do the intro. If you didn't know this, screw it. I'll do the intro in a second. Okay, so I've been sitting here for the past, I would say, 3 minutes. Trying to start this at 6 o'clock. Now it's 6:04. It just turned 6:04. Been trying to record this stupid episode of this stupid show that nobody listens to. And it's been taking forever because this stupid audition wants to not recognize the microphone. But then I know, I'm trying to be positive, but I know it's going to happen in a second. This thing's going to crash and I'm going to lose the audio and I'll be very pissed. So welcome back to the Constitutional Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is a premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I said, there's a website. Go there. All right, now we got that out of the way. I know it's just gonna happen. There's something wrong with Adobe products where they keep, or if one doesn't work, then another works. If another one doesn't work, then the other one works. It's only Premiere and Audition I keep having troubles with. Maybe stop putting so many features in them. Stop developing them, and we will just work on the issues at hand. Last week I was thinking, when I was recording this last episode last week, there's a lot of stuff to fit in there. I tend to do that with these. I tend to put too much of whatever I want to talk about for that week. And this week's been very busy because I am looking for a place to live and a job. Oh my gosh, the restaurant closed down forever, so there's that. I'm down one job. Still have two more, which is fine, but I don't want to continue doing them. I want to do other stuff. I want to do stuff that makes me use my brain instead of my body. I got to be honest, my shoulder is killing me. It's the same shoulder that was hurting me when I was doing UPS. And I'm afraid what might happen. God forbid, knock on wood. I'm afraid what might happen if I continue lifting heavy things, going to the gym, and then also lifting heavy things and moving them. That's why I take it slow when I do moves. I go, hey guys, you guys got to slow down. It's hurting. I'm hurting a lot. And then I just picked up another move on Friday, 9 to 2. It's gonna be a 5-hour job. Jesus, Jiminy Christmas. Then I'm working Saturday too. I still need to find a place to live and a job, a real job, not a job where I'm just making meager wages. My shoulder is killing me. All right, let's get on to talk about it. That's what the Constitutionals is. It's an audio diary. And again, if no one's listening to it, one day C Plus Comedy is going to be huge, or News Time is going to blow up. Something's going to happen to where that not negative. It's going to be very positive. Not like I murder a bunch of people, because that won't happen. I'm afraid of jail. Like I won't murder a bunch of people, and then police and then everybody in the world's combing through my life, the website, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, the YouTube channel, to see if I've ever done or said anything bad. That'd be horrible. That'd be the worst thing. But that would be a good way for people to go to cpluscomedy.com. So all I have to do is commit a really big crime. Oh my gosh. One that's so big that everybody takes notice of cpluscomedy.com, but not so big that I don't go to jail or are killed. Go to jail and die. That's why I put the and/or in there. That would be horrible. That'd be the worst way to get a comedy website looked at. Like before, like what if Splitsider didn't sell to Vulture? Which is congratulations to them. I wish I could sell this stupid website to somebody so I could stop updating it. No, I love C Plus Comedy and News Time and the Constitutionals. I'm trying to create a LLC/production company name for cpluscomedy.com so I can stop telling people it's C Plus Comedy. I can do something else that C Plus Comedy falls under the umbrella of. See, it's important to create an LLC so that if something legally happens, then the LLC can take the fall versus the thing that you own. I think that's how it was explained to me. I mean, that's at least how I understand it. So like, if Alphabet is what Google is. Google created Alphabet to be, I guess, the parent company. And so Alphabet takes the hit instead of Google proper. So Google, and then Google proper broke off into the search engine and like the socials and all that stuff. I don't know how it explains. It's very late in the day and I just got back from a move. And I'm recording this. I'm recording this at least 2 hours earlier than I usually do. So far, so good. We're about 5 minutes in. It's 5.5 minutes in. I'm doing not exemplary. I would say less than that. But let's move on to talk about stuff that's not my life, because honestly, that's going downhill. Let's talk about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. There is a new batch of episodes. I'll call it a new batch. I'm not even going to call it a new season. Well, it is a new season, but it's a new batch. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt started out as an NBC show, NBC pilot. NBC decided not to pick it up. Netflix picked it up. First season, phenomenal. It's great. It's great TV. I will say, though, as the show goes on, especially with that theme song, it is a show that is really dedicated to the past, because the theme song is, oh my God, it's not Epic Rap Battles. Who does the Auto-Tune the News? Auto-Tune the News did their theme song, I believe. Hold on, let me double check this. Who did the theme song? Music? The show's theme, Unbreakable. Yeah, the Gregory Brothers, who did Auto-Tune, the Shmo-Yo-Ho, not Auto-Tune. They did Auto-Tune the News. Yeah, Shmo-Yo-Ho. I'm not crazy. Shmo-Yo-Ho. And they were hot for, all of 2007. I don't understand how are they so popular for so long. They said that it's still. They did Songify the Election featuring Blondie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Weird Yankovic. That's election. Songify the Election 2016. I will listen to that. Songify Election 2012. Ed Bassmaster. I can't believe they got What's Going On. Leave Tom Brady alone. So you know them. It's the Auto-Tune News guys, Auto-Tune News people. They did the theme song. Theme song has not gone. It is still there for the past 4 years, and it is still very annoying. But I think the first season is great. The second season was fine. The third season I was a little peeved when I was watching it, because it was my own issues. But I think the third season was fine too. The entire series is good. I like the entire series. It's a very funny show, very well written show, very Tina Fey-esque. You can see the Tina Fey. Like if Mindy Kaling's shows like Champions, there's a lot of ADR in that one. Compare, that one and the Mindy Project, a lot of ADR in her work. I mean, which is not to say that it's bad, but there's a lot of ADR where they can just record different jokes and everything. I really like how last week I turned the microphone back to the way it should be recording. So now I can lean around and it sounds good in the headphones and everything. So Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt came back for season 4. And but it's only the first half of season 4. The other half will drop next year. I don't know why they're doing this. Netflix has been doing this a lot lately, and I really disapprove of it because it's not good. Not how a show that drops 6 episodes all at once should work. It's fine for Breaking Bad and it's fine for Mad Men, which both notably did that, and I hated that as well because they did 8 episodes. And they called them part of the same season. And I think The Sopranos did them as well, did the same thing. And when their show was ending, I think season 6 part 1, season 6 part 2. Because I remember, I used to watch that show. This is how I watched that show. We didn't have HBO. And I would go to the library, the Roswell Public Library, and they had The Sopranos there on DVD. I'd check it out. And I watched the show. That's how I did it. That's how I got through a large part of the show. And you know what? I forgot a large part of the show. So season 4 dropped May 30th, that last week, and I watched 2 episodes a day, normally how I do things. And with these, the issue is with this 6th season, it's really tight knit, the story, for the main story. Kimmy has a new job, and Jacqueline is trying to get work for Titus because she's representing him with her company, White Talent. And Lillian is her husband, Artie, her new husband or new beau, died. They killed him off screen, which sucks. Which I don't like it when comedies do that. Don't do that. Just keep the character, or don't even introduce him in the first place. And so she's got to deal with the family. And that's pretty much it. So we have 6 episodes of Kimmy and the gang going through mishaps until we basically find out what the last half of the season is going to be about. So Kimmy's going to write a book. Titus is acting in a show for YouTube Brown, which is a great joke against YouTube Red. Jacqueline, something, I don't know what's going on with her, and Lillian, Busy Phillips is there, and Lillian is in charge of Busy Phillips's money because she's the daughter who has a trust fund for Artie. There you go. That's the entire series. But it's very tight knit, and they they dedicate one episode to true crime documentaries, like how they're done on Netflix or HBO, and it's all about John Hamm's character, Richard Wayne Gary Wayne, or DJ Slizzard. Very funny. It was a fine episode. I thought it was fine. I like it when even if the joke doesn't land all the way, I like it when a show breaks format. Like Community broke format a lot, which is good, especially for a network show. Fantastic. I would say, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I can remember right now. I'm only thinking of network shows. I like when a show breaks format. A bottle episode's great. New Girl broke format sometimes. Wasn't always good. Period. I want to move right on to another Netflix show, Arrested Development. They had season 5 pop up amidst all of the trouble that with the men who were defending Jeffrey Tambor's outburst to Jessica Walter. Boy, if you want to hear something, go listen to those guys defend Jeffrey Tambor. All the men in the cast, except for Michael Cera. Go listen to that, and then hear Alia Shawkat defend Jessica Walter, and then Jessica Walter crying on tape. It is heartbreaking. So season 5 dropped again, another first part. Stop doing it. Just either drop the entire thing or don't. Season 4, when it was recut, I think I talked about that last week. I'm in the middle. Not even in the middle. I'm at the top of watching it. And it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Not good. And season 5, I'm only 2 episodes into that. I just skipped the rest of season 4 because I've already seen it, but I just want to see what the new re-edited episodes look like. Season 5 is just so tough to get through sometimes. It's a lot of remember what happened, and it's a lot of I guarantee there's at least each one of the season 5 episodes goes to about 28 minutes long, and they want this show to be syndicated. I guarantee that the episode all the narration, all I remember what happened is Ron Howard recouping, catching up the audience to what happened in the last season if we forgot, because of course we have, because season 4 dropped in 2013, and it's now 5 years later. Even though the show still takes place in 2015. Really? Yeah. So yeah, because we're 3 years back. Oh my God. Anyway, so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for Ron Howard, who's getting, he tells a lot of jokes in there too, and it's really self-referential, which is fine, but it's do you remember this? Hey, I know you don't remember this, but do you remember this? And it's asking a lot of the viewer to pay attention to that. And then you can tell it's a flashback because they put in the classic white, I'm doing it with my hands. This is an audio medium. I'm doing it with my hands, and that white boxing, and they have the screen, and then they have the white boxing, the Arrested Development boxing. It's very annoying. And so what I'm getting at is, I guarantee for syndication, when this gets to 100 episodes and they start airing it on TV again around the country, around the world, they're going to cut out the 6 minutes of narration. Guarantee it. Because each episode it's at least 28 minutes long. At least. And they're gonna cut out that narration. That's all the recouping. I don't even think I'm using that right. Recouping. And I mean, but the green screen is better here, if there is any. In season 4, you look at a character and you just look at the background and you can see the blue fuzzies on them, and you know it's green screen. And it is so annoying. It is so very annoying. And I understand that in 2013, each one of these people was very busy. Very, very busy. Jason Bateman's probably filming 19 movies at once. Portia de Rossi's probably hanging out with her wife, Ellen. Will Arnett is doing Lego Batman stuff. As if that's the only work he can get. I don't know if Flake's coming back. I've never seen Flake on Netflix, but I doubt that it's coming back. If it does, good for him. Michael Cera is touring the country as a musician. Alia Shawkat is doing whatever. Tony Hale was probably busy doing Veep. David Cross, I don't know what he's up to. He's probably doing With Bob and David at that point. Was that 3 years ago? Was that 5 years ago? Wow. No, that was, I don't know. Jeffrey Tambor was doing Transparent. Was very past tense. And Jessica Walter was rocking it. And Ron Howard, he can just sit down and do stuff. But there's so much that they're asking for you. They're just saying, hey, remember this, remember that, remember this. And the green screen was horrible in season 4, and it's so prevalent. It's so prevalent. And now that they recut it into 22 episodes, it is so prevalent. And then so in this one, in season 5, it took about they dropped 8 episodes so far. It took, I would say 3. Yeah. It took 3 episodes until the entire family not even the entire family, that most of the family was back together. Because even at that point, they didn't have Maybe, they didn't have Michael Cera, who were off doing their own things. Alia Shawkat and Michael Cera off doing their own things. And Buster's in jail. Spoiler alert. He might have killed Lucille too. Oh my God, there's just so much. It is just not good. And sometimes you just want a good thing to die. Season 3 was the last one. I'm looking at a Vulture article that ranked every episode of Arrested Development. A lot of season 4 episodes in the bottom. 3? No. 1? You can't fault season episodes, season 1 and 3. Those were made in 2002, 2001 and 2003, respectively. Imagine if that show didn't get canceled. Remember Sit Down, Shut Up? That is it was not a good show. That was a Fox show. Will Arnett was on that show, and Jason Bateman. So many people. Mitchell Hurwitz did create that show. Wow, it's crazy. It was Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Kristen Chenoweth, Will Forte, Tom Kenny, Nick Kroll, Cherry O'Terry, Kenan Thompson, and Henry Winkler. It was a cartoon show on Fox that aired in 2009 that was about teachers teaching. It was not good, but I loved watching it because it had all of those people in it, especially somebody like Kenan, because he acts a lot, but not enough. I wonder what's going to happen after he leaves SNL. He's been on there for let's do the math. 2003, 15 years. I want him to. He's the longest running cast member. I want him to make it to 20. Whatever happened to Maya and Marty? That was a variety show on NBC. That they made such a big stink about bringing back variety shows. And it has so many famous people. Jimmy Fallon, Tom Hanks, Larry David, Steve Martin. That's just in the first episode. Amy Poehler, Seinfeld, Forte, Kevin Kline, Anna Gasteyer, Sean Hayes. Well, that was pre Will and Grace coming back. Emma Stone, Kelly Ripa. That was probably in the... No. Yeah, because that was 2016. July 2016 is when it ended. And then they shot that short for Will and Grace. I'm just rambling. I'm just going to keep going. Best Time Ever with Neil Patrick Harris. Oh my gosh. I remember that shit. That was a variety show. Yeah, that got canceled. Man, that was a fun show to watch. That was you'd be in the audience, and then Neil Patrick Harris would invite you on stage, and then you'd participate in like crazy games. Your family would participate in crazy games because your family would surprise you somehow, and then they would have a guest announcer like Reese Witherspoon or Tyler Perry or Reba McEntire. And then they have a sing-along with a like Love Shack by the B-52s. You do a sing-along with them. Oh my God. That was such a crazy show. All right, I'm going to move on to the last thing. I got way off topic there. The Break with Michelle Wolf. The Break with Michelle Wolf. It's another talk show. I'm gonna say it one more time. Does everybody need their own talk show? Not that I'm jealous or anything, but it's fine. It's a very loud show because Michelle is a very loud person. I mean, I'm not going to liken it to the Daily Show because she did work on that show, and everybody's show is different. But it's another weekly show. It's about the news. What's different from this show compared to every other comedian-led talk show is that Michelle does, I think, about 10 minutes of stand up top, which is probably too long. And I've only seen the first episode, but she does 10 minutes of stand up, which is her monologue. But I call it stand up because she's holding the mic in her hand, which is fine, but might be too long. We can just cut that down. One of my biggest issues with these streaming shows, especially on Netflix, is that people are so afraid to cut things. Just cut things. Just because you can go long doesn't mean you should. Stranger Things episodes shouldn't be longer than 46 minutes. And I've only seen season 1 of Stranger Things, and I don't want to see it again. It's not I don't like it. All right. Last thing I want to talk about before I head out is, all right, so there's been a lot of issues on the Lethal Weapon set. A lot of issues, mostly pertaining to the lead actors who lead the series. Now I say actors because it's not all Riggs. The guy, Clayne Crawford, is what you might have heard. It's not all him. It's a lot of it was, I mean, not a lot, but some of it was Damon Wayons Sr., which sucks because he's a very funny guy. But apparently, right now I'm looking at an article from Variety called Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon: Inside the On-Set Clashes That Nearly Killed the Fox Series, exclusive from Variety, written by Daniel Holloway and Monica Gleberman. Dang it. I was gonna say Gleberman, and then I said Gleberman like a moron. But it sucks. I mean, the article's fantastic, wonderful. It's a very long read, but it's a very good read. But it sucks to hear that probably my favorite show on broadcast, my favorite hour-long drama procedural on broadcast, because my favorite show on broadcast is probably Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, then The Simpsons. But after that, Blackish, Fresh Off the Boat, Speechless. The Middle is over. The Goldbergs. Life in Pieces. I'm done. Jane the Virgin. The Flash. That's it. Okay, so it sucks, but it sucks to hear that Damon Wayans too. Not Damon Wayans Jr. Damon Wayans is also a garbage man, a trash human. So I'm just going to skim over this because I already read through it. And I don't want to read this again. And this episode's already going too long. Already too long. That's what women say about me when I go on a date. So there are two issues. Crawford apparently yelled at some kids. You have to watch the video. They have video too. They have video and audio, and it's so crazy. So they were shooting at a public pool. The pool was supposed to be shut down. It wasn't. And so they had to film around all these kids screaming and stuff. And Crawford is on camera. You can hear him. Can somebody shut these effing kids up? Can we shut them up? The kids are at earshot. And this guy's just yelling. And then another one is he was directing an episode where and then there was an explosion and a piece of shrapnel hit Damon Wayans in the head. He was bleeding. So yeah, so there's that. And Crawford apologized for those two incidents. I mean, honestly, I don't think he should have been fired. But the issue is that Lethal Weapon isn't owned by Fox. It's not created by a Fox studio. So they could have canceled it if they wanted to. So they recasted Clayne Crawford's role. Actually, I don't know what happened to Riggs. I haven't watched the season finale because I've been holding off on it. But apparently Riggs is going to go away for season 3. And it's season 3, they're going to introduce a completely different character for Murtaugh to work with. It's going to be played by Sean William Scott. He's going to be played by Sean William Scott. So in the penultimate episode of the second season, they introduced Riggs's dad came to town. He got released from jail. And there's he has a son. He has another son. And I was hoping, wouldn't it be great if they just to keep it in continuity now Murtaugh is captain. To keep it in continuity, they should just have Sean William Scott play the cousin of Riggs, and then he would be the Riggs that's in the movies. That'd just be easy. And then that way we can have, and his name is Martin as well. We can have another Martin Riggs, or they call him Marty Riggs, or his middle name is Martin, but his name's like Eric Riggs, Stifler Riggs. Oh my gosh. I just want my headcanon to be right. It also sucks because I just watched both episodes of the Lucifer season finale. That show was canceled as well. And Lucifer showed Chloe that he's the devil for real. He actually, his devil face was there. It sucks. It's really good. Anyway, so apparently, and so for on Wayans' terms, for Wayans' side, he had introduced a director named Eric Lane Whoville. He directed 2 episodes. Apparently there was tension on there as well because a lot of people don't like him. Let's see. During the filming of season 2's 5th episode, Lawnville butted heads with multiple actors, including Crawford. Sources say Lawnville was uncomfortable with the assertiveness with which actors made suggestions during reading regarding dialogue and blocking, and their desire to improvise while filming. That's just a director who just wants to follow everything to the T and it isn't open. You should just do it. It's a group effort. Just because you're a director doesn't mean you're in charge. Because I guarantee Spielberg accepts. Someone says if you have the take like 2 or 3 times, and also this is television, so do what you got to do. But I'm sure somebody says, hey, or Tom Hanks will go to Spielberg and go, hey man, it'd be cool if I say wall instead of terrace. I don't know. Let's see. One actor told producers after the first day of shooting episode 5 that they no longer wish to work with on future episodes directed by Lawnville, who also declined to comment for the story. Lawnville, it might be your fault. Let's see. And that was the director that was directing the episode in which Crawford screamed at the public pool in Los Angeles. All right. I was going to play the video, but I just saw that there's explicit language and there's no cursing on this TV show. There's no cursing on this podcast. What are we doing? What am I even doing in my life? All right. So let's wrap this up. Let's see. Moving on. I want to scroll down, beginning with the production of episode 10 in October. Warner Brothers. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Clayne Crawford and Damon Wayons Jr. were fighting so much. I really wish I could just play this audio, but I really don't want to. There was so moments before they were shooting a scene together. Crawford. This is after like a day after the shrapnel explosion that hit Damon Wayans in the head. Crawford was telling Wayans, "You're the biggest crybaby P word I've ever met in my life," and Wayans responding, "Well, suck this P word's D word." It's funny because I curse all the time, but I want this to be a clean show, and that's what they were saying. That's the extent of the video. They were just saying that over and over again. Just 2 grown adult men fighting. Damon Wayans, probably one of the richest television comedians in the world. That's how he's fighting. Okay. So let's see. So they spoke to crew members after the escalating tension with Clayne. It was my belief that Eric felt he could not be effective. He was just anyway. So when it came next to this next scene, he just metaphorically threw up his hands and let Clayne and the stunt coordinator deal with the whole scene. That's basically how the remainder of the scene was shot. And that was, I think that's the public pool thing. That following morning, Lawnville left production. Matt Barber, the show's editor, finished directing the episode, uncredited. Listen to this. Warner Brothers withheld $40,000 from Crawford's pay to compensate Barber for his work on the episode, and Crawford agreed to undergo counseling at the studio's request. Lawnville was signed to direct an episode of Lethal Weapon in season 3, with producers holding an additional episode for him, schedule permitting. Oh boy. All right, so then October, episode 10, October posted, Warner Brothers got security staff for the Lethal Weapon set. Then they hired another producer, Frank Waldeck, to help diffuse tension on set, because he is a veteran producer. He knows how to work with actors. What else has Frank Waldeck done? Let's see. It sucks so much that this even has to happen. All right, I'm on his Wikipedia. I'm on his IMDb. He worked on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. That's a fine film. He worked on CSI as a producer for 12 years. Wow. Crime Scene Investigation with Ted Danson. And oh yeah, that's where a majority of his work came from. Yeah, he's a veteran, all right. Jeez, Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so that's Frank Waldeck. The tension, however, hit a breaking point in March. Righty Reds, Holloway Reds, and the other person, Glenn Breck. When Crawford directed the season's 20th episode, Crawford and Wayons were shooting a scene that involved special effects explosion. During shooting, Wayons was struck in the back of the head with a piece of shrapnel, suffering a laceration. Wayons said he was fine, one crew member said, adding that he refused medical attention. Shortly thereafter, he left the set, and the remainder of the scene was shot with Wayne's stunt double standing in for the actor. Wayne's assistant was seen later using his phone to take video of playback from the incident on one of the production's monitors. Now, if you haven't seen the Damon Wayons, when Clayne Crawford, when all this came to light about 2 months ago, Damon Wayons uploaded a picture on Twitter of his head. And it did look, he was injured. He was bleeding. It was bad. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was bad. Shouldn't have been hit in the first place, is what I'm saying. All right. So then there's the argument where Crawford called him a P word. And then Wayne said, S my D word. Okay. Got to keep going. And then you should really read the transcript because it is just a lot of dashes. According to multiple accounts, Wayans and Crawford shot the first part of the scene in which they exchanged dialogue before entering the office building. Wayans then approached one of the producers and said that he would not shoot a subsequent portion of the scene that involved a gunfight in the building, saying that he wasn't comfortable doing any stunt work following the previous day's accident, or being directed in a stunt scene by Crawford after the profane exchange the two had moments earlier. So then the stunt double shot the rest of the scene. Crawford, informed of Wayne's decision, went to Wayne's trailer to speak with him. On the way, this is my favorite part, he encountered Wayne's assistant and the two exchanged profanities. A crew member on hand attempted to separate the two men. That means Damon Wayans' assistant is a man, and he was about to get in a fight with Clayne Crawford. Wayans exited the trailer and joined the fray. Here's my favorite part. Here's my second favorite part, as did executive producer Matthew Miller. Matthew Miller had to hop in. Then the security came in and broke up the encounter. Wayans left the set and production shut down for the day. Why? Why do these people? You're the two grown men. Why do you have to fight on probably one of the best shows on broadcast? One of the most entertaining shows, as I'll say that. So then they shot the next day, and they had a production meeting. And then Crawford and Wayans would not be in any scenes. The episode was rewritten so that Crawford and Wayans would not be in any scenes together for the remainder of the shooting. Although the altercation did not get physical, it heightened concerns at Warner Brothers. So then they had some issues, and then Clayne. So then all this came out to us, to the people in March, and then Clayne Crawford uploaded a very lengthy letter on Instagram, and he explained what happened. He just said basically what he was saying, that, oh boy, hold on, wait a minute. It says, so Warner Brothers withheld the $40,000 to pay the show's editor who was directing the rest of the episode after Lonville left. And in the letter Clayne Crawford wrote, it says, I even shared a sizable portion of my paycheck with one of the parties involved per the instruction of the studio. They withheld it. You didn't share it. May 13th, Fox renewed Lethal Weapon. Then they got to do character, which sucks. And so then you see this cut. They uploaded the picture. Damon Wayans already deleted his tweet, but you see the cut. It's not that bad. He is bleeding. It's not that bad, but he is bleeding. If he had hair, it'd probably block it. And then there's just there's a conspiracy theory, which is where I lost my respect for Damon Wayans. Here's a conspiracy theory on the way down, right after the photo, where Wayans claimed on Twitter that the flyers had been there's flyers posted all over the lot of Warner Brothers, and it says, I'll read you this tweet. Since at Warner Brothers TV is not defending me at all, ellipses, here's another photo of images other people were posting in and around the lot. And the picture it says Clayne Crawford is an national emotional terrorist. He says, not me. The tweet continues, not me. He became uninsurable, relished in making female cry, and stuck fear in cast a crew. Don't blame me. Oh my gosh. And then in another May 14th tweet, of the 31 people Variety spoke with, none said they recalled seeing the, quote, emotional terrorist stickers on the Warner Brothers lot. Damon, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing with your life, man? You gotta chill out with that. Oh, this episode's going too long, but I gotta finish this. In another May 14th tweet, Wayans wrote, quote, he hit another actor in the mouth with a bottle of green tea and busted his mouth open. Lance Henriksen, a white man. Lance Henriksen, a white man. Oh my gosh. So Variety included a part of the script in which that included the bottle toss, and Riggs is supposed to throw the bottle. Clayne Crawford's character was to toss a bottle of green tea to Lance Henriksen. And then here's Variety. Per a cast member and a high-ranking crew member, Henriksen had trouble catching the bottle in multiple takes, and the Clayne Crawford asked if the scene should be changed so that he would hand Henriksen the bottle. Finally, one of the tosses missed and hit Henriksen in the face. Witnesses described the incident as a minor accident, and filming continued. I'm only halfway through the article. What is going on? It's just two childish men fighting. All right, we're almost done. In multiple conversations, several cast and crew members described Crawford as a warm and passionate about his work. The prone to unprofessional outbursts when frustrated, which is fine. Because if you have not been, in a lot of the jobs I've worked, no one should be yelling at anybody. Yes, true. But in a lot of the jobs that I have worked, people have been yelled at. It's fine. I've yelled at somebody. I've been yelled at a lot. You're just going to have to deal with it, to be completely honest. Sometimes people just, especially serving, I've done it. I've yelled at dogs one time. Okay, I haven't. I've not done that. I've been yelled at serving. I've had to yell at one person serving. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I have yelled at somebody serving. I've been yelled at in a news station. I've been yelled at Home Depot. I've been yelled at pretty much every single job. I got yelled at for something that happened. I'm not going to say that because I signed an NDA. I'm not allowed to talk. I think, but I'm not going to say anything. But I've been yelled at pretty much every single job. So that's just part of the thing. If the person apologizes, you just accept it. So, actors Kurt Yeager and Tio Briones, who guest starred in Lethal Weapon for one episode each, expressed support for Crawford on Twitter after he was fired from the show. Hilary Burton, who guest starred on 6 episodes over season 1 and 2, wrote in a statement posted on Twitter May 12th. Quote, the pace at which a show like Lethal Weapon shoots does not always allow for constructive criticism to be warm and fuzzy, but it's my experience that Mr. Crawford genuinely cares about the well-being of every cast and crew member. Others who worked in the show, however, described a more combative Crawford. One crew member described being subjected during a meeting to a fanny-laced tirade by Crawford that lasted so long. Another good part. They began to actively tune him out, waiting for the incident to end. Can you imagine? Just F this, F that, blah, 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 blah. And then people looking down at papers going, like whispering to each other, should we move this scene to next week? Or no? Yeah, I think we should get bagels for lunch. Just weird stuff like that. So apparently a bunch of people, when Crawford was fired, a bunch of people who were tight with him, the number of, a bunch of people below the line were fired along with him. So here's what Variety wrote. And although some below the line turnover on the broadcast drama is expected between seasons, the number of crew members not being asked back for season 3 is high. Warner Brothers has, according to sources, moved quickly to make significant changes on set, notifying roughly a quarter of the show's nearly hundreds on-set crew members that they're not being asked. That means almost, they said roughly a quarter. So about 25 people out of 100. That's a lot of people. A lot of new people that have to be teamed. All right. So anyway, trained. All right. So here's the biggest thing. This is why this episode is going long, because I had to get to this part, and I think it is so funny. So Wayans is coming back, obviously, but apparently he was also difficult to work with. He was also a very tough cookie to crack. You don't crack cookies, you crack eggs. Here's Variety again. A copy of an internal memo obtained by Variety was sent by a member of Wayans' personal team to production staffers ahead of season 1, including 3 pages of detailed instructions about Wayne's diet. Here it is. Quote, All caps. Damon must be given food every 2.5 hours. All caps. The memo read. Quote, even if he's in the middle of a scene or doesn't want at the moment, please make sure he's aware of the food. He is aware that the food is there for him and where the food will be. What kind of child? What kind of child are you that you, A, need to be reminded that you need to be fed, and B, that there's not even a writer. It's just a memo. That's like the Steve Harvey memo. Oh my God, I gotta look that up. Steve Harvey memo, where it was where he doesn't want people talking to him. Do not approach me. This is from Variety again. But everybody got a Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. But all right, so here's the memo. Here's Steve Harvey's memo. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Indent. I'd like you all to review and adhere to the following notes and rules for season 5 of my talk show. There will be no meetings in my dressing room. No one stopping by or popping in. Capital, no one. Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door. All caps. If you open my door, expect to be removed. My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me. Oh my God. I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I've been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends now. Capital, no more. Do not approach me while I'm in makeup. While I'm in the makeup chair, unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell. That's as crazy as Matt Lauer having a button under his desk to lock a door, which is, I mean, that's the craziest thing, but this is close to that. It continues. I am seeking more free time for me throughout the day. Steve Harvey, who are you? Do not wait in any hallway to speak to me. I hate being ambushed. Second time he mentions being ambushed. Please make an appointment. Third time he mentioned an appointment, I believe. I promise you, I will promise you I will not entertain you in the hallway, and do not attempt to walk with me. Imagine West Wing if all of the walking down the hallway scenes were cut. It was just Allison Janney walking by herself. If you're reading this, yes, I mean you. Everyone, do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment. Thank you all, Steve Harvey. This is the greatest thing I've ever read in my life. Okay, so here's Damon Wayons, which is even crazier. Okay. An additional memo from the same team member noted, quote, nap time is a big thing for Damon. Nap time is a big thing for Damon. Big, guys. Especially during lunch. After he's had lunch, he'll want to be left alone until absolutely necessary. Apparently, Wayans also didn't like to participate in table reads for the show. Per an email acquired by Variety and sent by production coordinator to multiple Lethal Weapon crew members, Miller instructed that Wayans be provided with his own set of sides for every episode that included only his lines and excluded the lines of all of the other actors. The email described a multi-step process for the printing and approval of the sides. Quote, if revisions came out after all of this had been done, the process must be repeated. Oh my gosh. Okay. One crew member, comparing Crawford and Wayans, told Variety, quote, I would rather work every day with an actor who comes in prepared and knows their lines and is passionate about their role and cares about the show and gives 100%, gives 150% of his heart and soul into it than someone who comes in every day and says, I wish the show was canceled. I hate the show. I feel like I'm in jail. It feel like I'm in jail. Even if he ultimately gives a great performance. Talking about Wayans. So the crew member, quote, it is unbelievably difficult to work with someone who literally tells everyone that he hates what he does every day. And that is what Damon does every day. But another crew member brushed off the notion that working with Wayans was as problematic as working with Crawford, saying, quote, Damon is passive aggressive. He's not aggressive. I would rather have passive aggressive. Or no, actually, I would rather have neither. I would rather, you know what? I don't know. It's just so difficult. It is just so difficult. Season 3 starts shooting in July, so that means we got Stifler, Sean William Scott, sorry. I bet he's annoyed being called that. Sean William Scott coming in, shooting his scenes. Joining the team. That is so funny, though, that both of those, this is a long episode of this podcast, but mostly because I want to read that memo. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It is so funny. But you know what? I mean, as crazy as these guys are, they made a really good show. And I just can't believe that Damon Wayons, somebody I've been looking up to for so long, is just such a horrible person. And, he might be fine, offset. But if someone says you hate the show, you probably hate the show. I mean, if the Crawford thing was true, which it was, then somebody saying that they hate the show is just that's just more. Oh my God, that was so wonderful. That was so wonderful. I hope that Lethal Weapon can learn from this. I hope that everybody can learn from this, and I hope that when I start working on a TV show or a movie, that it is not like that. I hope we're all a family, and I hope we have a good time. Seriously. All right. Anyway, long episode. I'm going to cut this off right now. If you like this, why don't you head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there's some stuff, I guess. I don't know. You can follow us on Twitter, @cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter, @ChatBuckWhite. Like us on Facebook. Go to the webpage, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Talk about That's a TV Show. I just had a stroke. We're doing a TV show. We're not doing a TV show. It's a weekly news show there called News Time. And I do it every week. I haven't missed a week. Knock on wood. Hopefully I won't miss a week. Because of my current living arrangements. Oh boy, I hope I don't miss a week. That would suck because I really enjoy doing News Time. As much as I say I hate doing it, I'm joking compared to what Damon Wayons is saying. This week's episode of News Time is about, oh God, I forgot. The morning shows. Today's Show, CBS This Morning, and Good Morning America. They're all vying for ratings and all the ways that they're doing it. All the ways in which they're fighting for their way. All right, so anyway, it's an episode about that. Go watch it. It's fine. Next week's episode will be about E3, hopefully. We'll see. Yeah, because E3 is next week. All right. Well, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Bye.